And welcome, everyone, to this week's edition of This Week in the USHL. Bernie Corbett here with you once again. And another full schedule for us this evening. Opportunity to talk to a couple of current and thriving members of the USHL currently, both Division I college bound, and also one of the many USHL alums that is excelling currently in Division I hockey. Mike Sislo will be joining us from the University of New Hampshire, who's having an outstanding season with the currently number 7 ranked New Hampshire Wildcats. Going to begin tonight with Tucker Brockett. Tucker is playing for the Chicago Steel and has 17 points on the season thus far, 11 goals and 6 assists. Was named the CCM Offensive Player of the Week last week, a big 5-point week as the Steel won 2 out of 3 as they try to climb back into the playoff picture in the Eastern Conference. Chicago currently coming through a very, very rough stretch of 22 games without a victory until turning things around this past weekend. The streak went all the way back to prior to Thanksgiving, but there is a light at the end of the tunnel for a very young Chicago team, by far the youngest in the league, a team that has got younger recently because of a couple of veterans that have been traded away. And with a couple of 1995 birth years dotting the roster, you know that the future is very bright for Tucker Brockett, who'll be our first guest from the Chicago Steel. The present is looking a heck of a lot brighter after last weekend and the fact that the Steel was able to get off a considerable schneid of 22 games without a victory. But that's all behind them, and I'm sure that our first guest, Tucker Brockett, is feeling pretty good, not only about being named the CCM Offensive Player of the Week, which we want to congratulate him, but most importantly, Tucker, the fact that the Steel got back into the win column not once but twice last week. Welcome to the show.
Thank you very much. I'm excited to be here.
Well, Tucker, you got to feel as if you were truly the elder statesman on that team. You're a 20-year-old. You're going to be bound for college next season. You're in your second year in the USHL, and I would suspect taking on a real leadership role on a team that is so young with a couple of 1995 birthdays on the team. That is an extremely young team for the circuit.
I mean, yeah, we hit a little skid there in the middle of the year, so, we thought we had to change things up. So, we brought in some young guys. Like you said, we have 2 95s on our team, a couple 94s. The majority of the kids are 92s, 93s. So, I'm definitely one of the older ones on the team, and the guys definitely look up to me to see what I'm doing. It's been a year in the league, so, I've taken on a leadership role, and, hopefully I'm doing a pretty good job. Well,
despite the team's struggles at this point, Tucker, in the Eastern Conference, you're only 9 out of a playoff spot, and you still got a considerable amount of hockey to go. So after last weekend, I would suspect that the fortunes are looking a little bit brighter. That glass is starting to creep up to half full instead of half empty. Yeah,
exactly. Our coach has been saying, for the last couple of weeks, we're like the NFC West in the NFL, but the teams ahead of us aren't really doing much to knock us out of it. So even though we lost 22 in a row, we got a couple points in there, and then we swept this weekend. So I think we're like 9 points out of a playoff spot, and with 19 games to go, that's very doable.
Absolutely, 9 points to make up and 38 points available, so you are in a pretty good position right now. Just taking a look, despite the youth of the Chicago team, as is the case all throughout the USHL, you got a bushel of players that are going to be going on to Division I hockey next year, and just an opportunity for you to maybe talk about a couple of the guys that you have an opportunity to play with, talk about your line mates and the fact that you had such great offensive success last week, and I'm sure that things were clicking not just for you, but also for the guys that are surrounding and complimenting you on the ice.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I was playing with Tim Weber and Alex Kubiak this week, and we're all really good friends. And, we went out to lunch a couple times, just as a line, and I don't know, it just seemed right. We had a game on Monday against Youngstown, and we had, I think, 2 points there. And then this weekend, I think some of the guys were saying we ended up having like 10 points as a line this weekend. So, I mean, we just went out there, and, we lost 22 in a row, so we just went in with the mentality that, we got nothing to lose. So, we just went out there and had a lot of fun, and I don't know, everything was just clicking this weekend, and it felt really good.
Well, I noticed that you mentioned one of your line mates, Alex Kupiak. He's also Ivy League bound, headed for Yale. What about Tim Weber? I didn't have the book in front of me here on Tim Weber. Has he made a college commitment?
No, Tim Weber. He's Swiss. He played in the Swiss, one of the Swiss pro leagues last year. So he's just here to get experience. Play. I think he said he just wanted come experience America, play over here. So I think next year he's headed back to go play in the Swiss pro leagues again.
Well, that's a nice addition, and also from a cultural standpoint, hockey crosses a number of borders, and in your case, that's a little bit of a cultural plus for you to get to play with somebody from Europe.
Oh yeah, it's great, and my mom is full Swiss, so
even better.
It's a real coincidence. Yeah, so my mom still has a decent amount of family over there, so we have a little bit in common with that. We talk about that every once in a while, so it's good chemistry.
Well, as far as your game, Tucker, you're a little bit of a smaller guy, very quick, good skater. Just taking a look at the scouting report on you, and certainly an offensive presence. And when I take a look at that as a veteran observer of college hockey, you seem to really fit the mold for the forwards that have been dynamic and successful at the college game. I mean, the college game has really become a very small, quick game up front for success, and I would say that you're ticketed in that direction. I'm sure Princeton is very glad, Guy Godowski, very glad to have you join this program next year.
Yeah, I'm really excited to get there. My dream was always to play college hockey, and I didn't really get blessed with the good height. So guess we just got to find other ways to do stuff, and whether that's just using my quickness or just being tough and tenacious in the corners and stuff. And so yeah, hopefully I can carry this momentum over to college next year.
Oh, indeed, and also mentioning the Ivy League connection, I think you'll have a book on your goalie. You'll be facing Connor Wilson a couple of times a year beginning next season. So you're probably you're going to know if you're going to go stick side, glove side. You're going to go high or low. You're going to have a little bit of an advantage in that area, I guess.
Oh yeah, definitely. We'll play Yale twice a year, and I know all the ins and outs of Connor. So hopefully I can get a couple goals on. We actually made a joke saying we play each other 2 times a year, and the first game he's going to let me score a couple goals, and the next time I'll let him get some nice saves in there. So,
and that's a pretty heated rivalry. Also, my partner on the program, Paul McNamara, he'll be very pleased to hear that we had a future Princeton Tiger, since Paul played for Princeton back in the 70s, and that Princeton-Yale rivalry is a very heated rivalry. I'm sure you know. Boy, you'll come to know very soon.
Yeah, I do. Actually, my brother plays hockey at Yale, so I know the rivalry pretty well. And it's definitely heated, and hopefully, when I'm there, we can win the majority of them. No,
you'll be on the other side of it now. So it'll be a little bit of family feud there between the Tigers and the Bulldogs.
Yeah, exactly. We're all really excited about it.
Hey, your coach is a bright young coach in the league. John Wabel was at the University of Minnesota as a forward not that long ago, back when the Gophers went back-to-back national championships in 2002 and 2003, and I would suspect he's a guy that can not only relate to you as a 20-year-old, but to some of those young players. You've got a guy that is young, energetic, and brings a lot of enthusiasm to the locker room.
Oh yeah, Weibel's a great coach. We all look to him as a leader, but like you said, he's still in his 20s, so we can all relate to him on a personal level too. I think that's a really big compliment and a big help to our team. That we can look to him as our leader, and he has a great hockey sense. He can teach us the game and everything, but also off the ice. He can joke around with the guys. He can talk to us like he's one of us. So I mean, he's got all the makes to be a great coach.
Oh, absolutely. I suspect from a pop cultural standpoint, you could probably mention Arcade Fire to John, and he won't go pull a fire alarm.
Yeah, exactly.
Absolutely. And John also, not surprisingly, had experience, you probably know, had experience in the league as a member of the National Development Program. So another plus for John on his resume, that he knows what the rigors of the league are like from a playing standpoint.
Yeah, he knows what this league is all about. He knows how to win in it. He knows what to do. He knows how to coach right. He's been an assistant coach at the Steel for a little while too. So he's played it. He's been an assistant coach, and now he's a head coach. So hopefully he can lead the Steel to the promised land soon.
Absolutely, and Tucker, we hope that you get to the promised land and hope you get to the playoffs. Make up those 9 points. We'll be following the race closely in the Eastern Conference, and you are certainly a guy that the team is going to look to down the stretch in particular. And also want to mention that you're just 3 games short of 100 for your USHL career, and that is a great training ground and great preparation for, I'm sure, will be a outstanding college career for you.
Yeah, it's been 100 already. Oh, I feel like I've been here for years, my whole life this league now.
Yeah, it seems like 1,000.
Yeah, what's that?
I said it probably seems like 1,000. It's almost 100.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it feels like I was born into the league and still not out of it. But, yeah, it's a great experience. This league is the best league in the country. It feeds directly to college hockey. If you can do well in this league, it's a good chance that you'll be able to do well at the next level. And like you said, we're going to make a playoff push here, 19 games left, and hopefully we can start off by getting 4 big points this weekend and cut that deficit a little.
Tyler, Tucker, thanks very much for joining us. You went from Cleveland, Shaker Heights, Ohio, to Chicago, and now to Old Nassau out of Princeton, New Jersey, and we wish you the best, and we'll be following you down the stretch as the race takes shape, my friend.
All right, thank you very much for having me.
Tucker Brockett from the Chicago Steel, our guest here on This Week in the USHL. The Steel breaking a 22-game, not losing, but winless streak, and did it in a big way with a sweep last weekend, putting themselves with 19 games left in a position to make a solid playoff push, and we'll be following that East Coast race in the Chicago Steel along with the rest of the USHL here on our program.